So bouncing off of yesterday's lesson, today we're going to look at solving inequalities by multiplication and division. Pretty much the same idea, only there is one exception, and we'll see that later on in this example. So let's say we have the inequality 1/4 n is greater than 750. What I'm going to do to isolate that n, I don't like fractions, so I'm going to multiply both sides by the denominator to get rid of that fraction. 4's are going to cancel out. I get n is greater than 750 times 4, so n is greater than 3,000. Alright, so let's say we graph the numbers 3 and 5 on a number line. I'll put 5 here, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, 2, 3. Go all the way to -5. These are all negatives. Alright, so we have 3 and 5. If I multiply each of those by -1, we know that 3 is less than 5. But if I multiply those by -1, so if I take 3 times -1, it's going to be -3. So it comes over here. If I take 5 times -1, it's going to come all the way on the other side of 3. So I'd have -3 is less than -5. That is not true. We would have to switch the sign to make it -3 is greater than -5. And the same goes for division too. So anytime I multiply or divide a negative number, it's important to remember that I have to switch the sign. Greater than becomes less than and vice versa. Greater than or equal to becomes less than or equal to and vice versa. So we'll get that in action. So let's say I have -2/5 p is less than -14. I'm going to multiply both sides by 5 to get the fraction out of the way. And I'm going to get -2p is less than -70. Now I'm going to divide by -2 on both sides. I'm going to get p. Now remember, dividing by negative, I have to switch the sign. So p is greater than 35. And that's my final answer. P is greater than 35. Let's say I have 14h is greater than 91. Let's solve for h. I'm going to divide both sides by 14. To get h by itself, I get h is greater than 6.5. Yet another example. Let's say I have -5t is greater than or equal to 275. I'm going to divide both sides by -5. I'm going to get t is greater than or equal to -55, but don't forget, I need to switch that sign. So we're going to take it from greater than or equal to, we're going to make it less than or equal to -55 because I divided by a negative. How we can write that as a solution set, we can say for this variable t, such that t is less than or equal to -55. And that is my answer. Alright, so let's say that Caitlin wants to spend no more than $22 on bracelets. And the bracelets are on sale for $4.75 each. So she only has $22 to spend. We can set up an inequality for that. We can say 4.75 times the number of bracelets must be less than or equal to 22. To solve for b, we divide both sides by 4.75. And we're going to find that, obviously, since it's a positive, remember, this time I don't have to switch the sign when I divide. We're gonna find that the bracelet amount has to be less than or equal to 4.63, basically meaning she can't really purchase 63 hundredths of a bracelet. So really, the bracelet she can purchase is really less than or equal to 4. So she can basically purchase 1, 2, 3, or 4. That's going to conclude our lesson on solving inequalities by multiplication and division. The key point to remember here, everything's the same as solving for equations that way. Just remember to flip your sign when you're multiplying or dividing by a negative number.